I know. Close proximity. Okay. Post that and then into the Blue Lady podcast. Okay. Whoops. Go. Make it simple. You'll get to watch me. That's stupid. How stupid that is. Okay. So, I know Mom's watching tonight.
Cool.
Mom's watching. Kevin was asking. I'm sure Byron will be watching. We'll see. We'll see.
You look tired.
I've just been busy. Yeah.
I'm projecting because I'm tired.
Well, way to blame me. No.
You.
Actually, I am kind of tired. That's a wedding invitation.
Cool.
I am a little bit sick.
Oh.
I've got like a little bit of a cough.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I mean, I don't like actually feel that bad, but I've been restless and didn't get that much sleep last night. So I'm a little bit tired, but I tried taking a nap today, and then I couldn't because I had like all kinds of stuff running through my head. So
Were you home all day?
No, I got home probably about like 3 or 4. Excuse me. So.
I'm sorry you don't feel good.
I'm yeah, it sucks. Mostly like I hate clearing my throat all the time.
Are you taking vitamins?
Yeah, vitamins and kafu drops.
Are you on a good vitamin schedule?
Yeah, I'm eating lots of raw meats.
I'm not comfortable.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Let's just.
I'm gonna just do this the whole
Let's
time.
figure something out. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm alright.
Yeah. Amaretto.
Mm.
What?
Oh, I thought you picked up the gloves and said that.
Yeah, I was gonna start putting them on and strangle you. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
You don't want fingerprints while you're on camera.
No, yeah, I want people to be like, did he really do it? You know? Like the cops come and they say, it kind of looks like it,
Yeah.
according to the video, but like we can't prove it.
Can't use this as evidence.
Right, exactly.
Could be movie
I'm
magic.
going for the perfect crime. So that's what tonight's about. Kevin, hello. It's good to see you.
Hi, Kevin.
Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. 2 weeks. About 2 weeks.
Tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's the 5th of May for anybody who doesn't speak Española.
Yep.
That's a Spanish word.
That's a Spanish idioma.
An idiom?
Idioma.
Idioma?
That's how you say language.
Spanish doesn't make any sense.
Spanish isn't real.
Yeah, you just made that up and you said it was Spanish.
Yeah, that's what I did.
What if Spanish really is just a language of people making things up and pretending they understand each other?
Probably it is.
Like it's basically intonation and hand gestures,
Yeah.
and the language itself is 100%
They
improvised.
just wink a lot.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of cues. Yeah, I think it is. I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, yeah, it's good to reaffirm that. Been on my mind for a while,
I
so.
think.
Let's see. Look, I'm a novel in your inbox, John. I don't know if you wanted to use it for the podcast, but I wanted to get Michelle's perspective on my situation.
Cool.
Sure. So we can do that, or we can discuss it actively here, or we can.
I like updating with Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin is a fantastic man. Yeah, we talked a couple days back, just about stuff, life stuff. Let me take a look. We'll see what's going on. Okay.
I got back on Facebook.
Are you back on Facebook?
I'm back on Facebook. Yeah, I have my parents' 50th. I told you about that. Their 50th
Yes.
wedding anniversary party is in about a month.
Okay.
And so lots of, family members that haven't seen each other in a long time are starting to communicate, and we're all getting excited to see each other. And
That's fun. And you want me to come?
yeah, you can bring Ariel.
She unfortunately will probably be out of town if she's back in town, because she's going to be out of town that weekend for a friend's wedding-ish. Ahoy, ahoy. Jonathan Sosi in the house.
Hola.
So I'm not sure if she'll be back with him, but I'll go with her at least.
Okay,
So
cool.
I've already got my day cleared.
Cool.
So
I'll let my parents know that I have +2 then, because
me and Jathan will go on a date.
yeah, you and Jathan can go as dates. And
Yeah, he's
I'll
my
stag.
+1. You're stag. You're right, exactly.
I'm not sure he'll be able to go. His is kind of hit or miss as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure he will.
That's how baseball is.
But one way or another, you'll get it is hit or miss. Yeah, that's exactly how that works. At the baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
During a baseball game.
During the game. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but like Clint and
Good. I want to see
Janet
Clint.
and
Yes.
Bob and,
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll get to see some people.
What do you think they're gonna think? What do you think Janet's gonna think when she sees me? That was always kind of like an obnoxious long-haired silly kid, and so for her to see me like with short hair and tattoos and spitting fire, mad game, my cool lyrics, she's gonna watch me.
I don't know. Hopefully she'll be drunk. And...
Hopefully. Hopefully. So yeah, that's your aunt and like my old Sunday school teacher around the time that Michelle and I met. So,
it's a non-alcoholic event, not that you drink, but yeah. But so we grew up together going to church, and she taught our Sunday school class. My aunt, she taught our Sunday school class, and so she has a lot of times under her belt saying, "John, be quiet. John, be quiet.
Yeah,
John,
that was
be quiet.
definitely.
John, pay attention."
Definitely voiced. Yeah. There's a lot of that.
I'm excited.
Also, I have them around here somewhere. I think they might be in the kitchen, but I have a bunch of those papers that were like the student assessments from like my 6th and 7th grade days at the academy. Yeah. Oh man, I want you to check out some of those at some point. Maybe we'll do some on the air. Cool. Maybe we'll do it next week. I don't know. But I did a quick little review of some stuff that Kevin talked about, and he said there are certain things in the conversation that we don't want to share specifically. And since I'm actually not sure which of that in the conversation I know what to share, it might be better to have like an active conversation sort of about it. I think it's gonna be easier, so that way I'm not. I'm
trying to pick and choose.
Right, yeah. It's difficult for me to know exactly because there's context here that's important, but like certain things I don't want to introduce in a way that I'm not supposed to. So that might be an easier way to do it, to be completely honest. So is the lead for Corpse Wash doing signed memorabilia? Oh yeah, because Larry, I gave him a shower the other day. I don't know if you saw the picture on Facebook.
No.
Well.
Nah.
Yeah. He was so miserable and so sad and so adorable.
Was he going?
He was trying really hard, but yeah.
With his little voice.
Yeah.
Oh, Larry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do that tonight.
Just wash him again?
Yeah.
Just two showers in a week.
I want to see this for real.
Let's see.
Oh, it doesn't work.
Let's see. There we can get like a decent picture if we get close enough, I think. Yeah, now
Poor
you can
Larry.
sort of see. Yeah. He got a nice little bath the other day.
Cool.
It was cute because we trimmed his claws right before we actually did the procedure, the shower procedure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the water surgery. For being something that sustains life and that they drink every single day, I can't believe how angry they get when it's on their. They're like, they think it's just going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
They sound as if they're dying. I have actually footage of Penelope screaming. She sounds like I'm actually stabbing her guts out. It's really
in the water.
Unbelievable.
That's funny.
Yeah. But Larry didn't have his claws, so like he wasn't like trying to like claw me or scratch on me, but I was like ducking down to like put shampoo and stuff on him, and he kept jumping onto my lap and trying to cuddle really closely because he needed his daddy, and it was really cute. Let's see, updated via messenger is what Kevin says. Okay, all right. So how much? Because there's a lot of this, so I don't know how much of this to share. There's a lot in this conversation. And so I'm not entirely sure what to go through. I can give you the whole thing, and it goes back a ways.
Well, really quick before we get into that.
Yes.
How are you feeling with one store?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, I feel not overwhelmed. I feel like I can wake up and manage what has to go on, even if there's a lot, because there's still a lot to do. I still am constantly busy. I still have very little time to just sort of dick around. But I'm constantly feeling like what I'm doing is manageable and it's doable, and I accomplish it and I move on to the next, accomplish it, move on to the next. And I don't feel as if I'm ever at a standstill of where do I go next, because that's what it constantly was I felt like I was like at a crossroads with like 5 different paths of I need to do all of these, but what's the most important? And then in the middle of doing one, I'd remember something that's probably more important, and I'd go, oh shoot, I should probably do that. And then it would sort of sidetrack me, and it was just so much to constantly think about. And now I don't feel as if I'm being blown away by just too much stuff at once.
Good.
I mean, there's still a lot of like active things, you know, people communicating with me, you know, people I'm communicating with, bills and insurance, you know, like just it's a constant flow, but it all feels like it's not too much.
Does it feel like it was actually reduced by half?
You know, it's hard to quantify how like much it was reduced by. It might have only been reduced by 1/4, but I still feel as if like suddenly it's 3/4 that I want to commit to more actively now.
Yeah, I just thought when I asked that, you know, probably something more along the lines of since you had to, some things probably half-ass just because of the volume, sheer volume of stuff you had to do. Probably not less busy, just more focused.
Yeah. I'm
happy for you.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I have energy now.
That's good.
Yeah, because I admit I was dragging my feet some days. I would just felt like, you know, I don't want to do it, and that's a really crummy place to be, you know, especially when it is something that I love. So it's nice to be back at it and feeling
up to the whole task.
Yeah, ready to do it. I feel capable.
Good.
And so yeah, I've enjoyed that quite a bit.
Cool.
Excuse me. Yeah, this cough might persist. I think I've got some cough drops with me, so I should be fine, and some chapstick, so I can gloss my lips and nurture my chest. I know, jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Oh, did you end up watching
13 Reasons Why?
That too, but Me and You and Everyone We Know?
I did not.
If you get the chance. I was thinking about that.
I will get the chance.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know.
Actually, I was a couple of days ago, I was trying to think, okay, which podcast was it that was mentioned and what was the name of it? Like, I was going to go back and try
watch
to find,
the last one. I think it was just the last podcast that we did.
I couldn't remember what the name of it was that I was supposed to watch, and I couldn't remember which podcast it was. We talked about it, so I was like, I don't know what to...
yeah, that's fine.
I thought about it.
I think it was just the most recent one.
I thought about it
2 weeks ago.
And then I've seen 13 Reasons Why on Netflix several times, and like I've almost watched it. Honestly, I'm nervous about it.
Yeah,
just because recently my whole job had a suicide hit to it. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm just nervous about.
Sure.
Well, you knew about it.
Yeah.
It was 2 months ago now.
Right. Yeah, but that strikes very clear because it's kids, it's youth. You know, it's the struggles.
Almost 3 months ago. Yeah, 2.5 months now that one of the kiddos that I worked with successfully committed suicide, and it was very, very tragic and unfortunate. And I've been hesitant to watch it, but it's still.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Yeah. So Kevin says he'll be back in about 20 minutes. He's gonna pop out for a second, and then when he comes back, we can discuss everything going on that front more. So we can sort of talk about whatever at this point, just life in general. Yeah, you know, feelings and difficulties and adulting. And a friend of mine posted something really, really good the other day that was just, let's see, just something that I enjoyed. It was just a quick little update, just an opinion and something that I wanted to say. One sentence. If you like sentences.
I do.
Like jail sentences. Yeah, if you're into those right now, if like that's the current thing.
It's usually the thing.
Opinion. The most important virtue someone can have is a willingness to change their mind based on new information. I like that.
I like that too.
I like that a lot because something that I see quite often, and this is people at large. I've been here infinite times myself. But there are opportunities in life to get a new perspective or new information, and oftentimes it is met with immediate sort of like resistance because we're already convicted in our belief. We have already decided what we made up. So if somebody else, you know, comes at us with, well, here's something to consider, it's kind of like, well, you're wrong by default, you know. But like, keep telling me, but in the back of my mind, I've already put up sort of like this wall of, well, I still think this, and I'm not going to think otherwise.
Whatever's being said, I've already filed it into not so important.
Right.
Be polite and listen.
Right. Yeah. Basically. And so something that I really want to focus on, and I've been, I think, getting better at this as a whole, but something that I think I want to keep actively in mind is doing this with people, and mostly just considering in any situation that something new can truly change your mind. And this might not come down to, like, you know, tastes like a drink or something, but when it comes to, especially right now, the political climate is all over the place.
I've been avoiding all of that. I haven't really been paying a lot of attention the last couple of weeks to it. I know there's a lot going on, but I mean, just in terms of how much energy I want to put into that right now.
That's fair. Yeah, because I think
I've been taking this time off for that very reason.
Good.
To like stimulate less, to destimulate, to decompress a lot of my.
That's good.
Yeah, so I'm
genuinely get away from it.
Yeah, really. Even all of that, which is important stuff to be aware of, but I'm actively choosing.
Well, these things can be addressed, you know, when you get back, and it's kind of one of those things that, like, if you even want to be prepared to combat it, like, you can't be constantly just under fire with all this information that's just going to exacerbate.
Well, and it's I don't feel like it's the same week to week. You know, I mean, I feel like if I choose to really get back into all that, read up every day and watch the news every day and stuff, and 2 weeks from now it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I missed you.
I missed you.
I always miss you. I always miss you. But kitty cats and store stuff, and been rearranging my house a little bit, working on cleaning and sweeping and detoxifying my downstairs with apple cider vinegar.
I could smell it.
I could smell that. Yeah, I was pouring some down there. I'm trying to clean like the grout down there. But fairly soon, I'm actually just going to be upending all that tile and putting in brand new tile there and on the stairs.
What kind of tile are you using?
I'm not sure yet. I still have to go decide.
Who's doing it for you?
Well, a friend of my dad who was doing his house, we're thinking about doing, like, you know, like a wooden, like, slats for the stairs. And then downstairs, actually might do a tile similar to yours. Maybe like my kitchen tile, which is like that, you know, dusty beige kind of. I like that. Then I might even repaint the house. I'm thinking about, like, a couple different things that just sometimes a full-on change. Maybe the room, maybe the living room, maybe all of it. I don't know, bathrooms.
Cool.
You know, yep, all kinds of stuff.
You should get a makeover.
Like myself or the house?
You.
Like a new hairdo?
Yeah.
Okay, I could do that.
Do a lot of different stuff.
There's a lot of different things to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So.
Like, you could get all your tattoos removed and get.
Oh, that'd be nice. Get new ones.
New ones.
Yeah. Try something else.
Get new different ones.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I could do that. I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
That's lip service.
That'd be good.
Okay, so anyway, what you were talking about before, the opinions and being willing to be influenced and have mind frame be influenced differently. Can you think of a time that you were really, you know, this is it, this is the way, and, you know, it was hard to sway you, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Selling the store. Originally, I wasn't going to do that. It had been proposed for some time now. Even when in early February...
I heard you talk about it like a year ago.
Well, I thought about closing down the store.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, I wasn't even, like, actually selling it, because I was against the idea of franchising, because I thought it was going to be too much work to maintain a franchise. And I was like, I don't want to, you know, have to do all this. And I was still against it. And even when Dustin and Michael came to me with, like, this proposition sheet, they were like, have you thought about franchising the store? I was like, yeah, I don't want to. You know, I just didn't want to have to put the work into doing that, because it was too much work still for me to want to do. And they said, well, read this over and tell me what you think. And that's when I said, okay, I'll check it out. And I looked at it, and that's when I went, oh my God, why have I not done this? Like, it was just such a well-proposed idea, and it made so much sense. And I just said, why have I been so stubborn? And I think a lot of it came down to, with the stores, that I view it as my baby. And I like being in control of that environment, because I want to give people a very specific experience. And if I relinquish control, they might have a different experience. And it wasn't that it could be a better experience, but it was that it wasn't an experience I was wanting them to have necessarily. And so I got stubborn, and I wanted to hold on, and I think I just held on for far too long on just a principle. And so finally, as I was recent as 2 months ago. Yeah. And I view myself as a pretty open dude, but there's still things here and there that absolutely, you know, by default, sometimes I think without even thinking, I'm sure I've been proposed several ideas or concepts that immediately I was like, subconsciously, you know? So, so I don't know. How about you?
I'm sure. I'm trying to going through the archives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the answer is yes. I'm just trying to think of
Sure. The most recent time.
Yeah, or an
something
example.
memorable.
Something that stands out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely had that experience with meeting somebody and disliking them, and later finding out I really, 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 really like them.
You were wrong.
A lot, yeah, but I was just wrong.
Being wrong is a great gift.
Yeah.
In fact, I would like to be wrong about a lot of things because then it gives me the opportunity to be
you are.
right.
You're wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because being wrong means that there's something that I get to remedy. It's something now that I can reassess and go, shoot, now this is the accurate stance. You know, whether it's an opinion that I hold or the way I think something tastes or how I feel about somebody. You know, I want to be wrong about those things. Well, I don't want to be wrong to think that somebody's really good and turns out like they just, kill kittens all day. I don't want to be, that would be terrible. That's a bad wrong.
Okay.
But I like being wrong when it comes to like, I thought I wasn't going to like this movie or this TV show or this comic or this game or this whatever it is, proving to myself that I actually do like it and go, oh, now there's one more thing that I can enjoy. I want more things to enjoy. I always do. And you won't like everything, but I always want more things.
More.
So I like to be wrong. I want to go shopping at more, furniture for less. Actually, I'm thinking about maybe just getting a new couch. It's pretty beat up.
Probably a really good idea.
Yeah, because I could reupholster it, but it's probably just as expensive to do that as it is to get another one.
Yeah.
So I'll see if anybody's interested in my, because it's actually a great couch. But
it is, yeah.
I think it's been there for 7 years, and it's probably time for me to push forth. So
push forth.
Yeah, push forth into a new realm of couch.
More furniture for less.
That's right. There's a Tima right across the street from me, basically.
Yeah,
I've never been over there.
No, today Jason and I were driving by it, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that was there." And I actually have never, I don't think ever been in there, but I had the same thought today. I should go into Tima.
Go into Tima.
So it must have just been like same wavelength, because I was thinking I should go in and look at furniture over there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe I'll go in there and tell him not to sell anything to you.
Blacklist me.
Yeah, just avoid this
from
guy.
Buying a cool wicker chair.
He might come by, and if he does, it's just in everybody's
It's gonna be like
interest.
a police sketch of me or like an actual photo.
Don't let him in.
So they're gonna know what I look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure that they don't let you in.
Sir. Yeah. What would they say to me? How would they stop me from entering? I guess you're not allowed here.
Just speak Spanish.
Yeah, they would speak
speak
Spanish.
a bunch of Spanish, and you'd stand there confused.
We could do that. Okay. I'll go to Tima and just beg and plead.
We need to do a social experiment soon.
Like what?
I don't know.
Go ring people's doorbells and throw pies in their faces?
No.
Oh. It's the only one I know of.
It's the only one.
Yeah.
No, something more along the lines of stuff that we do just naturally in public. Like humiliating things.
Oh, like just each other? Like, yeah, that's fun. We walk around and we say stupid things to each other and try to. I think we just make other people around us more uncomfortable than ourselves.
I know, and I love it.
That's funny.
I love it.
That's funny.
I have a good time.
Some years back, when I was dating Lex, I was at the Vitamin Cottage, and we were walking through an aisle, and I silent farted. And there was an old lady right there looking at like pills, and it was the worst smelling fart I'd ever had, and I felt so bad.
For the lady?
Yeah, I didn't feel bad for me.
Lex? Like what?
No, I should have done that actually, but I just started laughing as I was walking away. I was crop dressing the entire time, and Lex was like, "What's so funny?" And I said it audibly, and I said, "I think I killed her." Yeah, the woman. I don't know if she heard me at all, but I said it loud enough to be heard. So I don't know if she was paying attention or like,
excellent,
or dying or I felt bad.
Aw, she's probably deaf.
Probably, yeah. There's a good chance.
Her smell probably had expired.
She's probably, based on what?
Her age.
Oh, what?
You said she was really old.
Yeah, I mean, she was probably like, 70.
Probably all her senses didn't work anymore.
Oh, that's true. She had no feeling in her fingers.
Yeah, no sight, taste, touch,
everything was done. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't even feel she had a bottle in her hand.
No, she didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, she probably just thought she was at like a pet store. It was wrong.
Aww.
Yeah, checking out some kittens or
Cute.
birds or whatever.
How cute.
Oh, cute.
Cute.
Ah,
That reminds me of like Dumb and Dumber when that kid thought he had a
no, the bird.
bird that was alive.
Yeah, and his head
Pretty
got knocked
bird.
off.
Yeah, and it was
he
just
taped
and
it
he
on.
taped the head back on.
That's a very good scene. That movie's really good.
I know, I love that movie.
Okay. So Kevin is back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. If you want to read it, or what exactly? Because again, I don't feel as if I can convey this conversation without explaining something that I don't want to say, and so I'm having a hard time like figuring out how to like express this. So I don't know if you just want to read it and gather what you can.
So what's the most recent that he sent?
So this is the most recent
after we started.
Okay.
After
we started, so he actually sent this earlier this evening.
5:38.
Yeah, and then this thing.
Okay.
So. Yeah, this is really tricky.
So how far back should I read?
Let's see. It's pretty long, so.
I'll go quick as I can.
Yeah, that's totally fine right here. Yeah, I'm not sure the best way, but I'll let you sort of figure that out. And in the meantime, we'll cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're gonna watch Cheers. We're gonna watch George Wendt, as Ted Danson. That's what happens in that show, I think. I haven't watched it in a long time. So, who all's in the room with us this evening? We've got Kevin. See, Jonathan was here. I don't know if he's still here. I don't know who's currently in the room. Michelle's catching up on just some literature regarding a situation that we're going to discuss here shortly.
I'm also reading your responses, so give me a minute.
That's fine. Take your time. But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to discuss anything tonight or have any thoughts on anything, literally anything at all, could be politics, could be your home life, it could be video games, it could be movies, it could be thoughts you're having or issues with friends or peers or constituents or accomplices or acquaintances or whatever it is. This is what we're doing tonight, just hanging out and talking about pretty much whatever. And you guys can hear us just fine. I'm using a different mic tonight because I left my good mic at the Corrales store last week when we were doing some sort of meeting. So I'm a little bit subdued this evening because I'm also not feeling super great, but I'm alive and would love to see your smiling faces, but I can't, so I'll have to read your smiling text on the side of the screen over here. So there you have it. What is everybody up to this evening? Hanging out? Me too. I'm watching Michelle on the screen. She's smiling. It's weird. I don't trust her. I could.
I'm messaging all your friends.
Mark Manning is here. It's a good dude right there.
Hello.
Hello, Mark.
Have I met Mark?
No, you have not. You actually have to meet a lot of people. You need to come to movie night one night.
Are you doing this Friday?
I do. Actually, I'm doing every Friday for the next 3 months.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah. We're watching Last Action Hero tomorrow.
Except you changed June 2nd.
Except for June 2nd, yes. So I'll be delaying it.
Last Action Hero tomorrow night?
Yes.
The movie is so
I
good.
love it. It's so funny.
You're the person that introduced me to that
Oh, it's
movie.
so clever and so good. Toaster, just got done cooking you dinner, but finally at the PC and able to type words. Hello. Sweet. Yeah, Mark is a great dude. He comes in, he hangs out, pets the cats. He's the one who actually makes our hats for the store. So he does all the embroidery, and we just ordered some new hats with him and some shirts for my employees. So we're doing some cool custom stuff right now. I'm very excited about. Well, yes, welcome to the Blue Lady podcast. Yeah, I mean, Michelle and I, the reason this has started, I don't know if you've watched this before, Mark, but the main concept behind this show is that Michelle and I used to sit down and talk about a lot of different things, aspects of her job, aspects of my job, aspects of life or philosophy or what have you, and eventually one day decided, why don't we just do this publicly? And sometimes if she was going through a hard time or I'm going through a hard time, we found that it was really good to sort of publicly disclose it because it gives people the chance and the opportunity to hopefully relate. You know, that's one of the big things is to let people know they're not alone in struggles, because we all have a variety of them, and it can be very easy to feel isolated in your problems.
Yeah, John and I have known each other for 20-something years, 24, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of having different perspectives over time, we've gone through lots and lots of different developmental phases together, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, intellectually. And so and this is what we've done forever. I mean, we've always talked and just learned from that. None of it's ever stayed static. You know, I don't think we've ever come to some conclusion that was just right or anything. That's not what this is.
Final,
I mean, this is just we dialogue, and we're interested in people and each other and how people feel. And so
shifting and growing perspectives.
Yeah,
always.
I mean, because I feel like on a weekly basis, every once in a while I'll go back and I'll watch an old one, and not that I, think, wow, what was I thinking? But just like, that's different. I wouldn't put it that way now.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and we've only been doing this about a year, so just in that span of time, how I think, how I dialogue about stuff. Right. I mean, it's shifting on a regular basis. And I mean, Kevin's situation, we've somewhat kind of chronicled through with him.
I think what's really great is that Kevin has been forthcoming enough to share sort of what he's going through, and people watched me going through a very active situation over the last year. A lot of struggle.
Open enough to do that visibly for everybody,
and it's been great because I think we've also induced that people can do that with us. And Kevin's been on the show talking with us for quite some time now, probably since like late last year. I want to say probably the last like 7-8 months maybe. And situations sort of come and go and evolve, and feelings change. And right now we're sort of at like another sort of milestone in emotions with him, and he's given us permission to discuss that publicly. So if we want to talk about a little bit of that, that would be good. Anybody can talk. They can communicate with us. They can answer questions or submit their own opinions, and Kevin and us can have a dialogue. So
well, I read from Monday night.
Yes.
Whenever you guys were chatting Monday night is where I started.
Yeah, that's right.
Reading from, and I'm really clear on what parameters, like what details. Yay or nay. So,
perfect.
But one thing that I was thinking as I was reading that was just how familiar it felt reading it, like, because I feel like I've been through a really similar, I mean, it was some years ago now, but the split up of a marriage and watching that person move on normally, as though nobody mangled us or mangled me, as though nothing like that had happened. And it was kind of confusing.
Sure.
And I think you've been there as well. And so there was nothing unfamiliar about that. And ever since we first started, hearing from Kevin about it, I've felt like that ever since I first started hearing from it is, you're not alone in it. And, I hope I never go through it again, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, who knows really? And just so first and foremost, like, with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a spot I think we can relate to. And this is granted like a sort of a larger impact situation than I've had in terms of,
me too.
Like a wife and a child.
And a child involved.
That really, I think mixes things up a lot more than I know what to relate to.
Right. But, and the being a 10-year marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're just some more, I'd say, more investment in some ways.
Yeah.
More investment in some ways.
But it's pain, and we're all familiar with pain.
Yeah.
We all know heartache and loss and difficulty in watching, you said, somebody move on. Weird situation is when I was, after I'd broken up with Heather, she was getting involved with Brandon, right? And so that was a whole messy situation. And at the time, I was going to Alex one day for one of my tattoos. I don't think it was the Wario that specific day, but I was going to Alex for one of the tattoos, and he had brought up some some movie. I think it was like a John Cusack, like High Fidelity or something like that.
Mhm.
Or I don't remember exactly what it was, but he said in the movie, John Cusack's character was having a problem like dealing with some like breakup, and so all he could think of in his mind was the girl that he broke up with, you know, doing it with some other dude, and it was so vivid in his mind. Alex was like, "Yeah, you probably have like those thoughts going through your head." And I was just like, I don't want to think about that. Also, only for 2 years later for Heather to marry him.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know. Like I'm totally like we're
Small
all
world.
totally great friends, and like it's super cool, very amicable situation. But how interesting to see sort of how everything sort of moves and ties around, and finally like does some sort of weird little knot where you least expect it.
Yeah. So Heather and John, when they broke up in 2007.
It was early 2008.
Actually,
2008.
Yeah.
Man, oh, you know what? It was almost 9 years ago because it was May 5th. I remember that.
Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Anniversary tomorrow.
Exactly. Of breaking up in a very difficult situation. Yeah, exactly.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So
Cerveza.
Anyway, when that happened, Brandon was one of your best.
One of my best friends.
Closest
friends.
One of his closest friends, and Brandon's older brother was a good friend of mine and a good friend of yours too. So like you know the crew or whatever. But Brandon was one of John's best friends, and Heather very instantaneously was with him, involved with him, instantly, and hell of a move for this person who you would plan to marry in a few months, who you felt was the love of your life, and this person that you felt was your best friend to ride off into the sunset together. All of a sudden.
Oh man,
it was holy crap.
It broke me pretty badly, and you got to see a very large part of that.
Yeah.
It was. I think it's actually really awesome that you got to see me in that point and getting to sort of witness like the full-on crack to reveal what was inside.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely. I would put it very similarly to that, because it was.
It made way for something better.
I mean, it sure did emerge.
It had to be destroyed.
Yeah. What is that? Is it a nice nin who said I don't even know what the quote is. Some quote. She said something about that.
Well said. Yeah. Make her proud.
No, and so it's something about there comes a point where the risk to remain tightly in the bud is more painful than the risk to bloom.
That's great.
Or something.
That's great.
Something like that. And I can't remember the exact wording of it. And it might not have even been her.
Well, so somebody said it. And it sounded good.
Somebody said something.
Yeah, some chick said that.
Some chick. Could have been a chick. Could have been
a dude.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a really long segue back to Kevin now.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's one of those kind of situations where it's difficult to let somebody go. And I know part of it is acknowledging and thinking that like you're ready to move on, and finding out in the hardest ways possible that you're not actually as ready as you thought you were. You know, and just sort of seeing somebody else move the direction that you wished you were moving with them, and the relations that I had to put into that, like in terms of like relating to the situation, was what I was doing was I kept feeling like, you know, I want Heather back. I want this to work out. I want this and that and the other thing to function with her. And all I was doing was I was in love with the idea. I was in love with the concept. I was in love with something that no longer existed.
Yes.
And it took me a while to get past that, to see that I'm in love with a concept. The actuality had changed. The conditions were done. That was finalized, and there was no going back to that. But I kept being in love with something that simply wasn't going to happen. And I think at some point it was put to me like that helped put it into perspective that, oh, you know, like I'm literally holding on to like a dead end. That relationship that
it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
I'm like smashing the thing.
And so, I mean, Kevin's situation is complicated with a child at hand.
So
how much of this do we want to?
And we've talked about it before. I mean, he's been really open over the last however long. So when we first started talking about his situation, they just weren't sure if they were going to work it out, or they hadn't made a determination about staying together or not staying together a while back. And then I don't know how long ago exactly, but it was definitive that they were splitting up. And what really stood out to me in that conversation that you guys were having and the information that he gave off tonight was that sense of being replaced.
Sure. Absolutely.
Being replaceable, being, and these, this might sound, but I don't think I'm off base when I name it this way, feeling throwawayable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Feeling, like I couldn't measure up to making this life work, this woman happy, this marriage secure. Yeah. I couldn't, for whatever reason, and the possibility of somebody else actually being able to do something and what that feels like. And I remember going through a situation where it was when Dwight and I broke up, and my feelings about that were, I had in my mind perceived us as not really going forward very long in the future, just because he couldn't really, the way I perceived it, and it wasn't true, it turned out, but the way I perceived it was that he couldn't really commit necessarily, or like it just didn't feel like something he could commit to me or something, and he was engaged quickly after that.
So do you view that as something that was like being replaced?
It felt replaced.
He found somebody better.
Yeah, it felt replaced. Like, and I was really confused because it felt like invested. It felt I was happy, and so I was really confused as to. So what is it then about me that doesn't measure up to making? Why
am I not good enough?
Yeah, why? Like it didn't compute.
Sure.
It didn't make any sense to me at all.
Absolutely, it's a really rotten feeling.
I couldn't add it up and understand it.
And even when it's not true, you still live there for a while, and you stew in it, and you just wonder, why was I not good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Why was I so easy to drop?
Yeah, and so that was years ago now, and he's one of my favorite friends in the whole world. He's one of my favorite people. And, we're still in super frequent contact, like we hung out this week. But, and that's nothing how I feel now.
Sure.
Years later. And really, it took for me with that. And you know what? It never got answered, actually. I never reached the platform where I was like, I'll put it this way, where I was like, oh, it wasn't that I wasn't good enough and all that. I actually never tied it up and added it all and made it make sense. I just stopped being interested in the question.
That's interesting.
I just stopped feeling concerned with why did that happen.
Sure.
That actually is what subsided over time, because the more that I thought about it, and it sounds like you're spinning it in your head and thinking and trying to add and subtract and multiply and divide and get the answer. And the more that I did that, the more I felt just the way that you're talking about that. Well, then what do I do? And it felt worse and worse and worse the more that I tried to get the details together to understand. It was almost like when I gave up the need to understand it is when it started to get better.
Right.
Because the truth is, and now I can say this even now, and there wasn't really a logical answer to it, and there may not be for your situation as well. So the why couldn't I live up to it? Why couldn't I provide it? Why could it be possible that my person could be happy with somebody else? There might not be an answer that is going to feel satisfactory to that.
That's true.
Ever.
Yeah.
But I guarantee that question will lose its significance. Does that make sense how I
100%
put that?
Well, because a perceived reality versus an actual reality are two very different things. And our perceived reality is oftentimes the biggest enemy that we have, because we create something that we want to function in a certain way. We want to make sense of it. We want a logical explanation, when sometimes something simply will not exist. And even if it exists, it's not the way we want it. So we've already decided that can't possibly be the reason. We're looking for a validation that we've sort of manifested into, well, it should probably be along these lines, that way I can understand in this way, when in all actuality that could be completely wrong. And maybe we're in tune, and maybe we guess well enough, and maybe that does happen.
And one thing I remember also about this, tell me if I'm remembering this wrong, that some months back, when they weren't sure if they were going to stay together or not, when that was the case, that something that had come up was that Kevin was real, home marriage focused, like one partner, child, home, family unit, that was the focus zone for him, and that she was feeling more like exploratory. Am I remembering that right?
I think that was the case. Yeah,
like more exploratory about other people in the world, and just not being as focused on our home here together.
Sure.
If I'm remembering that right. So tell me if I'm wrong about that. But I think it's really easy in a situation like that to look at your partner who's starting to look around and expand their interests elsewhere, and to take that as it's a choice to not look at me anymore, rather than, how do I put this? So, that desire to like expand and explore other options in the world, not to make that about me.
Right.
About me.
Right.
But that desire was likely going to spring up in, within her mind, within her psyche at some point in her life, no matter who she had ended up with.
Right.
You could have never met her, and that sort of change for her very much might have happened that way. Okay, so that is right.
Yeah,
I remember that. And I remember specifically talking about asking each other, would you be able to have your person and sort of share their attention?
We did talk about this. Yeah. I remember that
That.
conversation.
And I remember us talking about, man, if I could say ideally, if I was like a totally secure person, sure.
Yeah, theoretically, yes.
Theoretically,
it's a theoretical I'm not ready for, personally.
It's something I'm never gonna do.
Yeah, something like
I can't see myself ever being like, you know what, I'll do this lifestyle. I can't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
But I remember us talking about that. That I mean, I wish I had. I do wish I had that capacity to never feel any sort of jealousy, never feel any sort of inferiority. My God, what if that was just something that exited the human experience? No more inferiority.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be an incredible step.
Can you imagine?
I don't even know. I don't, because I've never known that.
Neither have I.
I've never known non-inferiority. There's always been that sort of, there's a comparison that we do subconsciously with everything, including ourselves all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, like I don't know what it's like to not have that. I can't imagine it. I almost feels it would be kind of like just flatlined, like emotionally, kind of like. I feel as if it would make me apathetic. I don't like that idea.
You know what's really funny is you're able to say that right now because you're not feeling bad.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
If you were down in the depths of it right now,
that's true.
You would not.
That would be a different answer.
That would not be what you.
Well, see, the times dictate behavior. Where you are in your life, that's fair. I definitely will. I didn't feel this way a year ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I didn't feel very well about a year ago.
True.
Yep.
But so anyway, I don't know if I don't think I was even on one trajectory or one tangent.
That's how a good conversation goes.
Yeah, I sort of
it's good to explore the whole thing, and I mean it's a big thing. So
another piece of that I that stood out to me was like he had talked about, so no desire to harm self, nothing like that, no aim to wipe yourself off the planet or something, which is great, but that doesn't mean that sometimes it doesn't crop up that we're like, well then I have to figure out a point.
Yeah, what's the point?
So what's the point?
Yeah,
like if I saw myself as husband, daddy, home, together guy, if I saw myself that way and now that's changing, not against my will, not what I want.
Yeah.
So that it's almost like an identity kind of crisis.
Sure.
Thing. Almost like an identity crisis of, all right, well, at this point, then what are my options and choices in terms of how do I continue to feel the same levels of meaning without what's most meaningful to me and what's been most meaningful to me.
Right.
Yeah. That's the way that stood out to me also.
Well, the hardest part for that is that in my head, I know the answer. And so whenever I have trouble, I know what the answer is. But when you're in that moment, committing to that answer is the hardest thing to do.
Well, what's the answer?
For me, the answer is, whatever it is that makes me ultimately lose focus of myself, when that crops up and takes me away from it, the answer is to refocus on myself. The trouble is, that's really difficult to do because your mind doesn't always want to allow that. Your subconscious doesn't allow it. Situations daily that remind you of things don't allow it. And ultimately, people do inspire me. People that I'm close to and that I love and that I want to be involved with inspire me. And taking the spark out of that so suddenly absolutely diminishes my momentum. I know for me, it's very difficult for me to get back on track when that happens. I know what to do and I know how to do it theoretically, but I look at it and I go, but and that ... And I sort of like make an excuse as to why it's different this time or why it feels this way or that way, even though I know my goal is to say, take care of you, focus on the store, focus on your cats, do your art or whatever it is, and then go from there. Then you rebuild yourself. So that's my goal. That's my focus.
It's really amazing to me that you just used that word momentum and that you talked about it in terms of momentum. And that we also both thought about Tima today, because momentum is the word that was on my mind earlier today. Was something kind of similar to this. Not an intimate relationship, but well, I mean, yeah, it is, I guess, an intimate relationship, not a like sexualized thing or anything, not a partner. But I had a client go into custody today, and I don't know how long he'll be gone, but the work that we were starting to do and the getting to know each other and rapport being built and like the transformational shit that was going on was like a nuclear like reaction instantly. And then it felt like whiplashy today when I got that call from Grants or whatever jail it was.
Yeah.
When I got that call, and I was like, it whiplashed me because I had my, my idea, my momentum, my velocity going in this way, and boom, like T-boned.
Yeah.
T-boned. Like just driving down the road quickly.
Yeah.
Boom.
Stopped.
Other direction.
Yeah.
Spin out.
Oh, man.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Flip the car a few times. And it felt like that to me. And I had a lot of anxiety today, and I don't usually get real anxious.
Yeah.
Certainly not over something like this, but it was one of those periods of time in my relationship with this dude. The momentum of it was a bad interruption time.
Yeah.
It felt to me. It felt like felt yucky. And so the fact that you use the word momentum is real interesting. And I mean, what is investing with the child and wife and home and talking about moving? I remember they were thinking about moving and making these decisions about where to live and add all of these things in investment, and it's like fuel. It fuels that momentum more and more and more. It makes it, this is my life and this is what matters and this is my priority. Yeah. And it just stacks on top of that more and more and more, and then boom, T-bone sideswiped. Right. Off.
And that just changes everything. Yeah. You had a goal, you had a path, you had like the horizon, and suddenly you're facing the other way.
And what a trip when it feels like, and this person told me that they had the same path too. This person told me they wanted to go the same way with me for years. Because that's what, I mean, when we do the marriage thing, that's what we're saying to somebody is, yes, I will be here, and we could have good days and bad days, and this and that can happen, but we're still going to go this direction together. We're going to raise our kid together. And and wherever we move, it's going to be together.
Right.
And that's changing now. And that being something that, it almost feels like, and I don't know how you're feeling right now, Kevin, about it, but I've been there and felt really deceived. I've been there and felt deceived, betrayed, sort of, just like the whole thing had been diluted for me. Like
the promise that was made wasn't valuable enough to keep.
I had staked a lot on it. And I'm not talking about Dwight with that, but with Carlos, when I was with him, because I had stepkids with the man, and we bought a house and got married and so forth, and that I mean, he wanted other people. He wanted lots of women. He didn't just want one woman.
Right. It's bad for a marriage if you do it that way.
Really painful and really hard for his children.
Right.
And it was the whole, and not to mention, fuck do we do with this house? and
Yeah.
these vehicles we own together,
Right.
and these insurance policies, and this health insurance and life insurance, and all of a sudden, everything that had been built up and put in stacks and everything, totally toppled.
Done.
And for the very same reason, very same reason that, you know, his desire wasn't to be zoned in, focused on one woman. His desire was wider.
Validation needs.
He had a lot of
lots of validation.
Yeah, he had a lot of validation needs.
Yeah.
And, you know, we could conjecture, you know, what validation needs maybe she has, and that may be what's going on for her, and it may not be. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
I really don't know. There could be something in her inner being that really just needs to go there, or it could be something that's like trying to overcompensate for an inferiority within herself. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors. Yeah. It's hard to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. And you probably have a better sense of it if she's following her heart or if she's following her insecurity, because they have very different outcomes, interestingly. So I'm not sure exactly what it is that's motivating her, propelling her to move away from the relationship the way that she is. But in any case, whatever the reason, spinning the why, it's only going to spin your wheels. It's just like spinning your wheels and getting stuck. And it sounds easier said than done, but almost to as much as possible, restrict yourself from asking that question. Let the why question, like, save it for later.
That's hard to do.
I know.
With the Christina thing, it was a year and a half of why.
I know.
So yeah, that's definitely the goal. And just know that it's.
Did you ever find out why? Did you ever figure it out? Do you know why?
I didn't tell you. I ran into her at Flying Star last week.
Weird.
Yeah, and I actually sat down with her. We talked just for a brief moment. She was busy studying for finals, and so we ended up having like sparse text conversations sort of between now and then, and we haven't really touched up on that. But the most fascinating thing to me was sitting across from her and talking and just looking and thinking, it's a person that I know, but it's a different person. Like, you know, there's no longer this attachment. There's no longer this.
The question wasn't significant anymore.
It was no longer. Yeah, it wasn't in my mind. I just thought,
right.
I remember you.
But when it was.
All
the thousands of times that you asked in your head, why would she choose this instead? Why? The thousands of times you asked that.
Yeah.
Did you ever get an answer because you asked?
I don't think I got an actual answer. I had.
You got answers. She told you different stuff, but did any of them add up?
No.
Did any of them add up or make sense to you?
It was not an answer where I could go, that's
where it made you feel better. It wasn't an answer that actually helped wrap it up and make it feel better. It's not an answer that gave any relief or any soothing. And that's exactly my point. Asking the why, and that person can answer you exactly why. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do a single thing. It's not going to answer the pain. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna respond to that in a way that helps it.
Yeah.
So the why, it's crazy making, and in a lot of ways, I wouldn't recommend doing it.
The worst part about it is that she's being so amazing about it. She's not trying to take custody. She totally wants equal custody. The other day she came home with Olive Garden takeout, and to be continued. And I guess that's also, I think that's actually confusing, actually, to be totally honest. For me, I actually really wish Christina would have just 100% just cut it and not come back, because I would have had like my answer. That would have been my answer. I told you about the girl. Actually, I started talking about on Facebook again recently. She's a friend of Ariel's, actually. Like, they've known each other for a super long time. Her name was Sammy. We went on a date like 4 years ago, and I had feelings for her, and, you know, talk here and there. And then I was up in Colorado texting her, and she just said, "Listen, John, I just want you as my friend." Actually, friend zoned me, which,
I remember that.
Right? But what she said is,
this will never happen.
This will never happen. I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I love you and I wish you the best. Yeah. And it was like, slice.
I don't feel that way about you, and I never will.
And it was great. I respected it. I mean, it hurt, no doubt. But at the same time, it was the best answer I could have gotten, because it was concise. There was no room for question. And it was just kind of like, oh.
It's kind. It was kind.
It's extremely respectful.
It's kind to give somebody the entire truth.
Yeah.
Right up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And Kevin follows up. Let's see. The other day she came home with Olive Garden to take out, and she was thoughtful enough to get me stuffed mushrooms, my favorite thing. She invited me to a company trip to Cliffs. She's my best friend, but I can't shake this feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carlos made it really easy for me because he was horrible.
Because he was terrible.
Because he was so mean.
Yeah.
He made it easier for me. It would have been a lot harder had he been a cupcake.
That's probably true, actually.
And included me in company things still. And
yeah.
Ooh, that would have been harder.
Yeah, if you don't care for somebody, it's easy to drop them. But if you care for somebody, that makes the whole situation more complicated. And with Chris, I really wish she actually just would have straight up been like, okay, done. Because she said she was going to, and then she saw me for the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then she came over a month later, and then 2 months later, we were making out for 3 weeks. And it was like, I don't know what's going on. And it ruined a lot of things because it was this up and down inconsistency, and that was too hard for me. I wish it would have just been clean, severed, done. At the same time, I'm glad it happened the way it did because I am where I am now because of that. And I'm in a situation now that's 100 times better than I could have imagined. And that's great. So I'm happy for how difficult it was. The best pain of my life, Heather. I still remember you actually were the one who coined that phrase for me. The best pain of my life. That whole situation 10 years ago. If it weren't for how difficult and awful that was, I don't think I would have renewed myself the way I needed to. I'm thankful every day for it. Especially because I've never been back to that point.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it's been, it's never been there.
Yeah.
I needed it.
How long were you together?
Heather and I? Like 2 years. It wasn't like a super long time. It was 2 years.
What was your longest relationship?
Michelle Catalanado. It was like 3 years. It was 2003 to 2005. Yeah. 2002 to 2005. Sorry. Kevin follows up. I was at our sister's house with the family. They all know we were split, even though they totally accept me. I can't get out of my head to keep thinking I don't belong there. There's no reason to feel this way, but I do. I don't know what's wrong with me. Nothing wrong with you. That's the big thing is this is this sounds like a very normal thing to feel. It's a very frustrating and I would feel like this too. It's a hard spot.
It's tough and confusing when nobody's trying to extract you from the family or extract you from the history books or strike you from the record or anything like that. They're trying to just alter this one relationship, but everything else stay intact. Like, let's still be really nice and let's still do family dinners and reunions and whatever. That's confusing. What's
interesting too is when I broke up with Lex, I was very close with her family. I still to this day go out with her mom and eat occasionally. We get together and we talk and we chat and we talk about Tom Hartman. We talk about Noam Chomsky. We talk about like all these, people, conversations with God. Yeah. So I introduced that book to Lex, who introduced it to her mom. And her mom was like, this is,
I didn't know Lex liked that book.
She loves it.
Oh,
yep.
Cool.
I lent it to her and she just fell in love.
Read Conversations with God, Kevin.
I'll bring my copy to the store. And if this is honestly something that this is the book that got me through everything. And it's not religious in the regard that you are going to feel like you're being attacked religiously. No. It is a very wonderful self-help philosophical take on the human condition.
It's the book that completely transformed me as well.
And she shared it with me.
There it is.
Yeah. Mark says he has excuse me, I think we've all had that defining relationship. I know I did. Sort of like the one thing that sort of pushes reset on you against your will, for sure. But it's something that is very vital. Yeah, Kevin, I'll bring that book tomorrow.
Kevin, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, grief is not a logical thing. Trauma is not a logical thing. There's nothing cognitively sound about any of it. Cognitively, the whole thing is a clusterfuck, really. So there's nothing wrong with you. What would you say to that? Like, it's so resoundingly, there's nothing wrong.
Because you feel like I feel like you don't belong here. There's no reason to feel this way, but I do. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's easy to feel that when we're feeling bad, that we're doing something we're not supposed to feel bad.
Anything you feel, any thought that you have about it, there's nothing wrong with any of it.
It's appropriate.
And how you feel about it is going to be different in a month, and then a month from then, and then a month from then. And I'm not saying it's going to be better every month. I don't know. It might be like this. I have no idea, but it's not this. It's going to be it's going to have a life of its own, this grief process for you. And it's going to move you around and it's going to sway you here and there. And, that question of what's wrong with me is by far a flawed question, because there's nothing at all, nothing at all wrong with you. It's not going to be logical all the time, and it's not going to make sense. And if that's how you're feeling, like there's something wrong with me, then change the topic, because that's a wheel spin thing as well.
Yeah. Perpetual.
I mean, how often did you feel like that? Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I let her go?
Oh, I felt plenty the whole time. So this is I think most people, maybe everybody ever can relate to this, is the worst part of my day was getting into the shower. Because when you're in the shower with your thoughts, that's when all the conversations play out. And that's when all the little things come back up, and they float back into my brain, and they go, I could have said this, and why didn't I say this? Why didn't I do this? Why wasn't I astute enough, or anything to like see this? And showers were the worst.
So John stopped showering for a year.
Shower for about a year and a half. And there were times when I was so upset, so angry, crying in the shower over this whole thing. I remember just, sitting there with soap in my hair, just the water on me, and I got so mad that sometimes I punched the shower wall, because I didn't have any other outlet or way to express myself other than through just anything. I mean, it was, it came out physically. And I hated being there. I hated feeling that, but it was there. It was so angry that I had no choice but to, and then stuff would fall off my wall in the other room, and then I'd feel crummy. But
yeah,
that's how I felt. I felt rotten.
I've felt that way when I've experienced jealousy. I've had a lot of judgment on myself when I felt jealous, like, because I know here in my head that I don't want to feel jealous, and that there's nothing attractive about it.
Yeah,
and that it's not logical, and that I don't own anybody, and that it's a sign of feeling insecure with myself, and I hate all of that about it.
Self-resentment because you don't want to do that.
Yes, resenting myself because I'm doing the very thing, feeding the very monster that I don't want to admit I have.
Yeah. And
I've had a lot of judgment about when I felt jealous.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So nothing wrong with you.
No, not at all.
I'm sitting here going, wow, I'm fucked up.
We all are.
I'm super jacked up.
We all are, man. All the things I didn't felt, and it's frustrating because knowing that you don't want to be that way. What I had to do all the time too, and I had to do.
And some of the shit you do when you're in the middle of feeling it.
Oh, it's awful.
Because I've done some stupid shit when I felt bad.
You swallowed that cyanide.
Yeah, when I was eating
Ajax.
Yeah, when I was,
Instead of cereal. Yeah.
Yeah, and like eating knives. Things like that.
One thing that I did, he says right here, I invested in a waterproof Bluetooth speaker for that exact reason. It's hard to be alone with your thoughts when Van Halen is playing.
Wow.
And
hey.
What I had to do all the time is I'd be driving, and I did this if I was somewhere distracted, music, yes, cool. Playing a video game, talking with friends, fine. Being at work, cool. But if I was driving and I was by myself, or was in the shower by myself, as soon as those thoughts would pop into my head, I would immediately have to like acknowledge them and say no. Do not.
Yes.
Like, this does not belong here. And like I had to think of my mind as like this horizon.
I'm a real proponent of abandoned ship.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a thought and it's killing me,
talking to myself.
Like call some run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah. And constantly reminding myself out loud, stop thinking this. Stop thinking this. And then of course I'd still think it. Stop it. Still think it. Stop it. And eventually got to the point where it was like it starts to sort of dissipate a little bit, and I could concentrate on something else long enough to, think of a goal that I had to do. But it was a constant reminder for way too long, So it's very real. The struggle is real, and it is very much just, if that's how you feel, that's how you need to feel, so you can learn how to feel not that way. And it's hard. It's hard.
Such not anybody's favorite thing to hear when you're in it, but it's not going to stay like this.
No.
It won't stay like this.
Yep.
I remember I used to tell myself, because there were days that the only thing that I could do right, because I couldn't feel right, the only thing I could do right was just keep breathing. Like, what's the answer? How do I get through this?
One day at a time.
One freaking breath at a time.
One breath at a time, sure.
There were days where it felt definitely that way to me. It felt that broken down. And it was true. It was definitely the answer.
Mark says, oddly enough, I found the shower to be a meditative time for me, a way to break away from those bad thoughts. And that's good. I did not. I had a terrible time in the shower. But everybody has their own sort of like escape, you know?
Yeah.
Their own place that's okay for it. Shower was bad for me. I was getting clean and my mind was getting dirty.
It's definitely bad for Larry, too.
Oh, yeah. That was so cute. I'll play the video of Penelope screaming, by the way.
You know, one thing you could do in the shower to not have to be with your thoughts is take a cat with you.
That's what I think about them the whole time.
That would give you a totally different shower.
Bathe the cat 4 times a week. They would hate it.
Oh, man.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Showering in the dark works. Just turn off all the lights and have it pitch black and try to take a shower in pitch black. That'll take your focus.
That's true, because you're thinking about more actively the task at hand.
It's
Weird.
really funny.
Weird.
Have you ever done it?
No.
It's really strange.
My friend Michael Radon, well, you know Radon.
Yeah.
He loves having shower beers, and sometimes he likes to eat in the shower if the opportunity, like if he has food to eat. Mine's harder because the shower's so cramped. I can't have a plate of food like on a counter or anything. But he says one of his big things is like drinking a beer in the shower, and he says for him that's it, you know, just 20 minutes of slow sips, and I don't drink, but I could have water or orange juice or something in the shower. I could give that a shot.
Yeah, I like to eat in the shower. I do that.
What flavor is this?
Watermelon. It's a new one.
I was gonna say, when did that happen? That's pretty nice.
You want to try it?
Kinda.
What are you drinking?
I'm just drinking
Beer, shower
I'm
beer.
drinking shower beer. Yeah, brewed in my shower. Oh, that's good.
I like that one.
That's really good.
It's good. Oh no, your germs.
Oh yeah, I'm sick. Well,
I bought you something.
thanks for the drink. Cool. How I died.
Do you have any Propels
No,
in your fridge?
I've got LaCroix.
What's that?
It's like a mineral water. It's coconut flavor. You can try it if you want. I think it's awful, but I keep drinking it. It's just in the fridge on the left side. You can have some. Interesting how we all handle the same feelings differently. That is the truth. And that's actually one thing that I really like talking about other people with, is the fact that we all have a different method and a different way of dealing with stuff. And sometimes people will tell me things that I never thought about, and it'll give me sort of a perspective of, oh, I could try that. Maybe that does feel really good. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But it's cool because we're all so dynamic. We all do it differently. We all deal with things differently, Michelle. I deal with things differently than you.
Do you?
Yeah. I drown animals. Animal crackers in milk.
Yeah.
I should have clarified, yeah. What do you think of that?
I haven't tried it yet. I just opened it.
Okay. See, I don't like it. Okay. We're having this discussion.
Is it gross?
I don't like it, but I keep drinking it. Because I don't like mineral water.
It smells good.
The coconut part is that's the reason I drink it, is like the coconut
It smells
part.
like suntan lotion.
See, you're not supposed to, you don't want to like smell suntan lotion and think, oh, that sounds good to drink.
Charlie does. And it's always
that's true. That's fair.
He drank a lot of
But
suntan lotion.
Yeah, no, mineral water for me, like sparkling water, I don't like it at all. To me, it tastes like expired water.
Really?
Yeah.
I like this stuff.
See, this is better because it has coconut in it, but like straight Perrier or something, no.
Ooh, I like that stuff too.
Oof, you and Ariel. She loves it. I actually bought it mainly for her, but I drink it occasionally because,
Good.
you know, it tastes like bad water.
It's one of the many things you're wrong about.
Many, many things. Yeah, well, I'm proud to be part of this elite group of subhumans that hates it.
Cheers.
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 Thanks for the Propel. I feel bad, but
that's okay.
Thank you. That's really cool of you.
All good.
It is all good.
I think it cost me 99 cents.
That's a good deal for me then. Cost me 0 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it cost me whatever that soda cost. Don't do it, Michelle. Yep. Yeah, I was drinking on the stream last night as well too, because that's like the only thing I had in the fridge. And everybody was like, "You need to drink that off camera because I can't handle it." So I was getting, everybody was berating the experience, and I don't blame them but I keep drinking it. I don't know why, and I know I don't like it, and it hasn't changed my mind yet. But like, I'm trying to trick myself into liking it the way people trick themselves into enjoying coffee. You know, because a lot of people start off not liking coffee, but eventually they drink it so much that they do. And I know some people actually straight up do it.
I think a lot of people don't love the first cigarette they ever have.
That's probably true.
But.
So, yeah, if you drink a LaCroix, you're basically just a chain smoker. That's disgusting.
I have lung cancer now.
Mm-hmm. Like Walter White.
I'm rewatching all of Breaking Bad. I think I told you that.
I am too. I'm
Where are you at?
4 or 5 episodes into season 2 because Ariel hasn't seen it.
Season 2.
Yeah, and she actually has a hard time watching it because it's so intense that like we can watch like 2 episodes at once before she's like, I'm empathizing way too hard. This is rough. So we just did the episode with like the little boy in the house, and like
the little redhead.
Yeah, the cutest little kid I've ever seen
in the world. That kid is so cute.
And like even after that, she was like, this episode was a lot to him. I was like, yeah, it is. It is.
He's a cute kid.
He's a cute kid.
We just started. I think we watched right before I came over. Season 5, episode 4.
Ooh, season 5 was pretty awesome. It did some pretty crazy.
Season 5 episodes like 1, 2, and 3 were way intense. Those were the most intense that I've felt watching.
For me, am I spoiling Breaking Bad for anybody? Yes, this happened years ago.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if we're watching, I mean, I don't think we haven't actually like really said anything, but I also want to make sure we're not going to be spoiling anything. And if we are, plug ears for the next like minute, I guess. But I'm excited for her to get to the twins. Because, like, to me, they are some of the scariest monsters I have ever seen.
I love them.
They were so intense. And, like, I mean,
really, really sexy.
In a weird, yeah, I know. It's really weird.
In a horribly, horrible monster, sociopathic, antisocial personality disorder way.
Yeah.
Super attractive.
Yeah, we will have you drinking coffee in no time. That's not going to happen. I will not drink coffee. I'm glad Aaron's watching too. I'm not. No coffee.
Do you like coffee ice cream?
No.
I love coffee ice cream.
If it didn't taste like coffee, I'd love it. So I just get other ice cream, and then I love that. Yeah, that's the trick. Take what you like, or take what you hate, and then don't partake of it.
Good one.
Yeah, it's working. Except for that, I don't know why. I keep trying it. I keep thinking that maybe something will change. It hasn't yet.
What's the matter with you?
Something's
wrong with you.
Yeah, something is wrong with me. My reaction is not valid.
Yeah, you're invalid.
I'm invalid.
You're an idiot.
Idioma.
You're a language.
I'm a language.
You're a language.
What is
1017.
I'm trying to think about today. Homework?
Today?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Isn't that homework?
Probably.
See. This is 98% chance.
See.
That whatever I'm saying is right. I don't remember. I remember like 10 words in Spanish. And that's a C. S. Nosotros. Yeah.
Nosotros.
Yeah. See. Yo.
Tú.
Ella.
Keep going.
I don't know. That's about it.
I bet you know more than you know how to say taco.
I do, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Who was it in Breaking Bad that calls Tuco taco all the time?
Was it Jesse or?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But yeah.
I remember somebody called him taco.
I feel like, or maybe Hank. Or
There's one that's called Nacho.
Oh, he's in Better Call Saul.
He's kind of sexy too. I like that actor.
Have you been watching Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat and I watch every week too. We're caught up on that too. And
yeah, we watch it every Tuesday when it comes out on Amazon.
Okay, perfect. It's also really good. Like, and now it's to the point where it's basically just as good as Breaking Bad because it's just like this is where like the lines are being like blurred.
It's very different. It's very different. I saw my parents the other day and they watched Breaking Bad. They felt a lot like Ariel. Too intense. Too negative. They couldn't really watch all of it. And I was telling him the other day, give Better Call Saul a shot because it's intense, but it's not monstrous.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the same kind of anxiety, I would think. Very well written, extremely good.
It's not horrifyingly shocking.
No. That's a good, that'd be a good starting point.
No más queso por usted? No more cheese for you?
That's too bad.
No more cheese for us.
I'm thinking there's a Weird Al song where he parodies Rico Suave, and it's called Taco Grande, and it's one of my favorite Weird Al songs I've ever heard,
Hmm.
because it's all just like him being like at a Mexican restaurant ordering food. And yo quiero chimichangas y chile colorado, yo tengo el dinero para un steak picado, los flautas y tamales siempre muy bueno, y el chile relleno. You see, I just gotta have a tostada, carne asada, that's right, I want the whole enchilada. There's no taco big enough for a man like me, that's why I order 2 or 3. And it's just...
The Weird Al song that I remember the most is Like a Surgeon.
Oh, it's a good one.
Cutting for the very first time.
That's a really good one.
Like a surgeon.
Mm-hmm. Got your kidneys on my mind.
Was that what it said?
Yeah. Oh, it's good. So,
Kevin.
you know what?
We love you, Kevin.
We love you. And the best remedy is to have people around who will remind you that it's okay. I think everything in life we can theoretically do alone. I don't know if I could actually do it alone, but I think we all have the capacity to. But I rely heavily on the people in my life that I love, my family, my friends. I rely on situations like this, the blue lady.
Mm.
You know, I rely on my relationships with other people that are good for me to remind me why I do what I do and that I'm worthwhile and that nothing is better than me. You know, not that I'm better than everything else, but that something is not simply better than me and that's why I wasn't chosen. But that I am worthwhile and worthwhile to the people who will see it.
Yeah, and even if nobody sees it.
Mew will see it.
Me see it.
Mew.
You too.
Mew. This is the baby blue lady, which I guess is the green lady now.
Baby?
Yeah, there's Mew and then there's Mew 2.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Mew.
Oh, they're different.
Yeah, Mew 2 is actually they're both people.
They're different ladies.
They're different women. Yeah. They're different blue ladies.
Different AF.
Yeah. Yeah, Mew 2 is cloned from this guy's DNA. Or Aya, this Aya's DNA. Spanglish. A special episode of the site. It's like the Drew Carey show where they just do.
I told Jathan he can only talk to me in Spanish tomorrow. And he doesn't know Spanish. So we won't talk much tomorrow.
Is he gonna try to actually do it?
I don't know.
You should make him. Like if he doesn't say something in Spanish, don't respond.
I'll just go.
No sé.
No hablo inglés.
Yeah, no sé, no hablo inglés.
Amish Paradise. I remember
That's
that
a great song and a phenomenal video.
I
Yeah.
remember that one.
That was like 1994, I think. 94, 95. That was Bad Hair Day came out. And that was like the big one in Coolio and had a Red Hot Chili Peppers, part of like the Polka Jam in there. That whole album was so good.
I've been listening to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers lately.
Which older, newer?
Live, like just live shows.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Before I leave, I'm gonna play you one song
Okay.
that makes me all melted.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. Well, we had a pretty good conversation here this evening.
10:23.
About that time.
Did we start at 9?
We did.
Do we usually do 2 hours or an hour and a half?
About 10:30 is what we sort of been shooting for.
10:30.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is. It's
Are you
very
getting
good.
up early tomorrow?
No, I have some stuff to do tomorrow. I'm finally going to be getting the kitty out of my bathroom like within the week, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Lily's situation is still like it's literally all over the place. I feel so bad.
So what's happening to the cat?
We're gonna have the vet come through because they have to do sort of like a medical checkup to make sure the cat's gonna be okay for flight, and then we put him on a flight with JetBlue, and he goes to New York.
Wow.
Yep. And then I get to repair my bathroom because like he's been shredding the corner of one of my walls.
The Big Apple.
The Big Apple. That's right. He's gonna be a cat on Broadway. Cats.
He's gonna be a little kitty in a big city.
That's right. That's cute.
Mm.
He's an old angry cat though.
Poor guy.
I know. I feel bad for him.
Well, his owner passed.
Yep.
Passed
It's
away.
been a tricky situation. Yeah, but I feel bad keeping him in one room for that long. And I would let him in the rest of the house, but
He's mean, isn't he?
he's extremely mean. He'd attack the other cats. He attacks me. The other day he was just meowing and meowing, meowing. So I walked in there, and he was meowing really nicely. So I was gonna bend down to see if I could just sort of offer my hand to him, and then he started hissing and then slashing towards my leg, and my legs were bare like this, and I thought he was gonna cut me because the first night I tried to get him, he destroyed my hands. I had to put on 2 pairs of gloves and 2 jackets just to hold him to get him into the pet taxi. And now he actually just runs in the pet taxi, so he'll be easy to handle ultimately. But nonetheless, I'm excited for his well-being and his quality of life. So it will be
he's
good.
Been there for
too long. I feel very bad. It's a very, very crummy situation. But he's well taken care of. He's fed. He's got a clean litter box. He's got water. He's got a place to sleep. But yeah, poor little guy. Anyway, so
take your conversations with God.
Yes, thank you. I'll actually, after this, I'll
put
go
it
to my room and I'll put it.
And because Kevin,
I promise you, man. Like, at least give it a shot. Like, check it out. I read the first maybe 125 pages, and it did a world of wonders for me already. And then I didn't actually return to it for like another month and a half because I got busy doing something. But as soon as I returned to it, it was still just as pertinent as it was when I started it, and I just devoured the whole thing from that point. It was extremely vital. And
it remains that way. Anytime I can flip open to any page and it's great.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's really great.
Yeah. So, I'll bring that tomorrow. Do movie night, hang out. You gonna come? Tomorrow. Last Action Hero.
What time?
We usually start about 9. I say 8:30, but
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, people start showing up, like ultimately about 9 o'clock. Some people
get off work.
Can
you text me tomorrow and remind me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm late, but
I'll try to make Jathan come.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Byron just showed up and right when we're about to sign off. I know. Hi. Yep, we're about to close down for the night. Late. You are. Unless he's just really early to next week's.
You're 6 days early.
Yeah. If you say you're going to show up on time, you show up super on time.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Uber punctual.
Uber on time punctual. Okay. Well, please no. Sorry. Yep. We're ready to wrap up. We got some stuff to do tomorrow, and
I didn't get to meet up with a couple weeks ago when my family member thing happened.
Right, with Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure that out soon. We'll see what's going on with that.
Okay.
Saturday nights might be a little bit tricky because that's currently, if my schedule goes according to plan, it's the only night that I have off. So I might still utilize that for personal time, but we'll see, because I still sometimes personal time entails me needing to do this. So buttholes. Okay. I'll not leave the webpage for 1 week. When do you guys do this? Mark asks. We do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock.
Thursdays at 9.
Thursdays at 9.
Where does Mark live?
Albuquerque. Well, maybe Rio Rancho. I think he lives close to the West Side store.
No, I want the address.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. 387 Hemdale.
I
think that's Alf's address, actually. It's 314 Hemdale.
He's my favorite.
Alf?
He's my favorite.
He's my favorite too. That's why when I was talking to Ariel and I saw her initials were Alf, I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Pretty sweet, huh?
All right, guys.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be back next week. Any questions, queries, anything you have, let us know, and we will try to get to them as soon as we can.
What's up?
I love you. What's up? Why?